My notion of a good idea is something that exists right at the intersection of intelligence and common sense.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. I'm Dan Porterfield, the President and CEO of the Aspen Institute. We are so excited to host you for our 20th Aspen Ideas Festival. In that spirit of gratitude, we would like to begin by recognizing that we come together on sacred lands that historically belonged to the Ute Indian tribe, whose culture remains vibrant and resilient and determined today. Home to the nationally renowned Center for Native American Youth, the Aspen Institute honors the legacies of all indigenous peoples by working as partners with those communities to build strong futures. Now, watching that video, it's striking to reflect on how much has changed since our founding in this very meadow beneath these very mountains, and with that, how much remains the same 75 years later. Speaking of that first Aspen convening here in 1949, which was dedicated to the idea and the ideals of humanism, it lasted 3 weeks. There was a lot of rain and a lot of mud. 3,000 people attended. And our founder, Walter Pepke, said in reflecting on that the next year, the meeting took place in an atmosphere of numerous quickly found friendships, of serenity, even of joie de vivre. So many new acquaintances created a lively stream of conversation. In the mountain fastness of Aspen, the cares and apprehensions of the plains were left behind. 55 years later, our second founder, Walter Isaacson, revived Pepke's vision for relevance in our times. I love the way he put it in that video just now when he said that a good idea rests at the intersection of intelligence and common sense. We've now been convening at that intersection for 20 years. I would like to thank all of the staff and volunteers, past and present, who have made this possible going back 2 decades, including Elliot Gerson, Deborah Thomas, Jim Spiegelman, Amy Marjoram, Don Bayer, Paula Vanden Moorda, Colleen Bretman, and Jamie Miller. Foremost among this group is the impresaria who pulled it all together for our first 19 festivals and who we look forward to seeing here along with Walter at future Ideas festivals. Please join me in recognizing the inimitable Kitty Boone. Now, this year's festival will be extraordinary. There are many to recognize with gratitude, starting with the global thought leader and convener extraordinaire, who is this year's guest curator. Please join me in recognizing that force of nature known for penetrating thinking, an enviable creativity, and a devastating pen. Tina Brown, please. Tina has worked with our dedicated team to pull together this year's festival, which will be so rich in important conversations, brilliant pairings, new evening programming on campus. The executive producer who partnered with Tina to make the magic happen is our own voice of God, who's here, often in the background, but today let's put him in the foreground, Graham Veazey. Graham, thank you for everything. And now a few other quick words of thought. First, to our many supporters and trustees who are here, especially our chair, Margot Pritzker, joined by her husband, Tom Pritzker. Margot, thank you. For another day, I want to tell you all that Margot did to lead us in the development of a strategic plan. I can't do that today, but Margot, amazing leadership and partnership. Wow. Thank you. Now, some more gratitude to our patron pass holders, our speakers, our fellows, our staff, our interns, our hundreds of volunteers that make it happen. Thank you all for being what you are, doing what you do. Thank you to our new vice president, executive vice president, overseeing public events and engagement institute-wide. I actually don't know where she is standing or sitting. Jin-hee Kim. Jin-hee, can you wave? There she is, Jin-hee. Thank you to our media partner, NBC Universal News Group, led by Cesar Conde, and all of our underwriters that make this possible. And I want to single out Allstate, which has been a partner for, I think, 19 of the 20 festivals. Thank you. Tom Wilson, thank you. Thank you to a team of high school leaders from around the country who will apply insights gained here to their own festivals that they'll create back home. Our 2024 Bezos Scholars and their teachers. Where are they? Woo! Thank you. For 75 years, the Aspen Institute has lived our bold purpose, which is to ignite human potential, to build understanding, and promote new possibilities for a better world. This year's festival very definitely continues and renews that commitment. We welcome you with open arms, confident that inclusive civil dialogue is the lifeblood of democracy and a trust-based society. Thank you, and with that, let's bring to the stage our guest curator, Tina Brown. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dan, and hello, everybody. It's amazing. Amazing and a privilege to be the first guest curator of Aspen Ideas in this all-important 20th year with the Institute under Dan's distinguished leadership and Margot's decisive vision. The wonderful thing about this whole exercise of putting together 7 days of compelling programming is the great intellectual halo that the Aspen Institute has. The fact is, everyone wants to be a part of Aspen Ideas. At a time when America is trapped in dialogues of the deaf, there is no better platform than Aspen to hear the developed arguments and passionate propositions that distinguish the life of the mind. As a long-time magazine editor, I approached the festival as I would an edition of Vanity Fair or The New Yorker, a provocative mix of sharp relevance, cerebral sizzle, and seductive serendipity. Sorry about those alliterations, couldn't help it. As you turn the pages of this live magazine and move between the wonderful venues this week, I hope you'll find the festival to be an arena of reason, a test of knowledge, and a gateway of empathy. Hopefully, too, a respite from the massive distractions and the whirling misinformation that plague us all. The festival's mantra this year is bright minds for dark times, and I think you're going to be galvanized by those bright minds every single day. So this afternoon, you're going to hear from the woman leading Elon Musk's SpaceX, whom the New York Times just called an awesomely competent combination of fire and ice, in conversation with NASA's visionary leader, Bill Nelson. Joining us, too, the electric activist who has no fear of the ferocious mullahs of Iran, plus the writer who is an illuminating authority on that region. But first up, I could not be more thrilled to welcome to the Aspen stage America's great truth teller, Bill Maher. Right? We've never needed his brand of iconoclasm more, and on 22 seasons of his hit HBO show, he's defied every box that you try to put him in. Is he a libertarian, a liberal, a neoconservative? Or is he a true liberal in a time of foolish radicalism? Perhaps all of the above. Born and raised in the Northeast, the product of Cornell and comedy clubs, Bill Maher seems to understand, as one famous ex-president also does, how the values of entertainment hold sway in the political realm. With his new book, What This Comedian Says Will Shock You, at the top of the bestseller list, Bill Maher shows us that he's never been more pertinent or impertinent. So let's begin.